back to my channel, Rewind That. It's your girl, Miss K. If this is your first time coming across my channel, welcome. Please be sure to subscribe if you like the vibe and hit that notification bell so you know when I upload more videos like this one. All right, guys. Sorry for, the delay. Ran into some issues. So if I look weird, it's because I had to find a ring light that's gonna help illuminate me a little bit. It's a baby one. My son done took mine. I don't know what he did with it. But anyway, we're here to talk about The Wire, guys. We have 2 episodes for you. We got season 4, episodes 2 and 3. One episode is called Soft Eyes. The third episode is called Home Rooms. On my thumbnail, I have home room. I am gonna change that later on for the people that like to be technical and come on my under my comments and correct me about everything. I already know that y'all are my friends, the ones that be doing that, because the ones that love me and that's really here for me, y'all correct me in a nice way. Okay. Anywho's, so what's up, God King Consciousness and Daria? And Savannah and Eric S. I see you. You said you watching. Rashonda, hey. All right, let's get into it. How are you doing, Moochie? First of all, I love the
Kim, what's
background as
up?
usual.
Thank you.
Yes.
What's up? So
All
let's
right, you
get
ready to
into
talk
this
about it?
season. You know we like the season with the kids.
Yeah. So we have our quote of the episode, which is "I still wake up white in a city that ain't." That's Thomas Carcetti. What's up, Tina? All right, guys. So
Hi, Tina.
in episode 2, we have Herc who goes looking for, because now he's on the mayor's detail. So he goes looking for Mayor Royce or whatever, or he's going to look for a lieutenant or something. But he walks up into the mayor's office, like he knocks on the door and he opens it and he just see his knob getting slit obbed. Okay, the little assistant is in there,
She was
slurping on the
going in,
pinochle.
just bobbing for apples.
Yes, but the crazy thing is when we saw how the interaction between them was, you already knew something was going on because they was a little too like friendly with each other, like yeah, whatever she was doing and how he was acting towards her. I said something's going on.
Yeah, the
So
first episode, that's where she was
yeah, I
like
said
the
something
bend
is
and
going on.
snap thing going
I
on.
knew I could. Yeah, I said something is happening. It's just disgusting. I hate that. Anyway,
Hold on, let me just
so.
go put these files away.
So, this kind of drives him crazy because he's like, oh my gosh, what do I do? I took this job so that I could I could make lieutenant or whatever. He wants to move up in the ranks and everything. And he's just feeling some type of way because he think that now he ain't going to get a job. So he telling Carver, he telling Valchek, he telling everybody. But, Valchek gives him the best advice by telling him just wait it out and be quiet. Eventually a few weeks later he gonna come to you asking you what was your purpose of being here, blah blah blah, and we'll get to the next episode and talk about that later. But he just kept it quiet, kept it cute or whatever. So that was that. You want to say anything about that?
He wanted to. He has to use this moment to his advantage.
Mm-hmm.
And Valchek was right about telling him, you got to make this work for you right now. The ball is in your court.
Right.
So yeah, you can use this to your advantage.
Mm-hmm.
And when they ask you where you want to be and what you want to do in this career, you tell them.
Yeah. And then he was saying something about I wish I was in your shoes, because basically if something happens and he winds up telling, or firing him or anything like that, then he could blow the whistle on him. It's like this is a good thing. Relax.
You don't know what he got going on.
Yes, because he's stupid. He's a freaking blockhead. He
I can't with you today.
Because he's stupid. Oh, sorry,
He's a blockhead.
He's a blockhead. All right,
Hi,
so
Daria.
So now we have. Let's see what else we have. So we have Freeman, who is very very excited about blowing the whistle. Talking about blowing the whistle, he's excited about blowing this whistle. Okay, on the politicians. All right,
Yes.
he wants to blow that freaking horn. Like while Rhonda is afraid, because she feels like there's going to be blowback, and her job could be at stake, right? And she even tries to hold back 2 subpoenas, one for Clay Davis and another for Andy Krawcheck.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But she doesn't want hell to break loose, and neither does Sidner. Sidner or Sidner, I forgot, whatever, don't matter. He don't want hell to break loose either. Everybody's scared except for him, and he's trying to let them know that, listen, right now is the perfect freaking time, because the last year when we tried to do it, you know what they would have did? They would have buried us, and they would have buried, the whole thing. But they would have just, go ahead, kept everything under wraps.
Yeah, Wanda got a problem with it because she feel like it's an election year. And she feel like that it's gonna mess up her career if she does it, because she's gonna be rubbing certain people the wrong way.
Yeah. And so right now he's saying that it's the perfect time to do it because they're distracted by the freaking the election. If you do it any other time, they're just you send you let them see what you're doing. You send out the subpoenas, this and that. All they're gonna do is bury it, and they're gonna get rid of y'all or close down the unit or whatever. But if you do it right now, where all they have to think about is trying to cover up scandals and trying to make sure they look good, because they're distracted by making sure that they look good, they're not going to see none of this stuff coming, right? So this is the perfect time. And she's looking at him like, you told me it was because you had new cases, you had fresh cases, this and that and the third. But regardless, he was like, what are you so worried about? So anyway, he wound up getting them subpoenas out. Like, she went home to her man, to Daniels, and was complaining like, he did this and he did that and he made me feel like this and that. He was just laughing up a storm like, he got you, I'm glad he didn't do it to me. Like that little, what he said, the look where he looked through his glasses like, I'm the father you never had and I don't want you to disappoint me.
Yes.
So he got her feeling all bad and everything, but oh well, them subpoenas sure had to go out, didn't they? So also I want to mention that, hey JW, so also I want to mention that Carcetti has lost interest in the race, right? Basically because his numbers are low and it looks like he will not be winning. So he rather, instead of spending the time to do what he has to do for the campaign, he rather play bingo with his daughter or whatever game he was playing. He rather tend to his family needs and things like that. Like when they were talking, he gets a call that the tuition for the school wasn't paid. Oh, I got to take this. I got, like, anything that's going to distract him from the campaign. He is so for it because he just feels like he ain't going a daggone thing. You want to say anything about the Carcetti situation before we move on? Because,
well, he was losing his enthusiasm about running. So I he wants to stay focused with his family, but he how can I say it? He's not liking what he's seeing with the city, because remember when this all ended, it was with that whole Amsterdam thing. So he's on the heels of that. Can he clean up the city and things of that nature?
Right. And on top of that, we find out that Mayor Royce has so many of basically he owns the police, and he has all of them in his pocket, and there's really just nothing that he can do right now. That's how he feels. Okay?
Right, because remember Colvin, remember he got fired. So the people that he got in charge now was the people that looked out for him and swept all of this under the rug and let Colvin fall on his sword and take the bullet,
Right. So looking pretty
even
bad
though it's
right
like
about
a blemish
now.
on his record, talking about the mayor, he feels like he still can get out of this.
Yeah, and right now it looks like that's the case. So let's see what else we got. So we got Delonda and Namond. They done gone up to see Weebay. So this is where we find out, if in case people didn't know at the time, this is where we find out that Weebay is Namond's dad. Okay. And the conversation is all just regular conversation. He asking about his fish and all that. She be like, how I know how they feeling about fish? How I know how to fish feeling, Don't play with me about my fish, Delonda. They fish, babe. Anyway. don't care about them daggone fish. But Namond taking care of him. You go see his when we see his room later, there's fish in the room and everything. There's fish all over the daggone place.
There's
He's
fish
not
all
playing.
over the house. There's fish in the living
Yes.
room. A big aquarium in there.
He probably would go and he probably would put out a hit if he found out that she removed them daggone.
So what you doing my fish? What you mean Namond moved out? What you mean Namond is out? Namond ain't taking care of my fish.
Go insane. He asking about his fish like those are his babies. I love that though about him. That's just like another nuance in his character. So it's pretty cool. So, of course they're talking and, making sure he's asking about the money that they receive every month. And then about the situation with him working on the streets. And she's like, don't be lying to your father because he's saying it is best and all that. And what did I just say? It's best. What did I say? Okay, I don't know what in the world.
Well, he was basically telling him that he was trying to lie right now, and then he's telling him his back in the day stories.
Right, with the whole mustache and the pee and all that, because you getting a fuzz. I don't know where the heck, I don't know what in the world I said talking about best. That was weird. So anyway, she said, don't lie to your father. He ain't even been working. He don't be coming to work sometimes. And, he don't really seem like he cares too much about that, Weebay. But he did mention the ponytail situation. And I'm like, and I don't remember, guys.
Too much attention to yourself, boy, the guy's gonna figure you out from the blocks away.
So I don't remember what happens, but this right here makes me feel like something is gonna happen because of his daggone ponytail, because the father done brought it up, and before that, Bodie brought it up. And he don't want to listen. I like it. Like, he don't want to listen. So his father's like, it's either you real out there, or you ain't. Like, you got to make a choice. Are you going to be really on the block, or are you just going to be a little ninja with a ponytail going to school?
Telling him that he's bringing too much attention, where you going to be recognizable. And if they see you, they know how to pick you out.
They already know.
He's telling them the truth.
Yep. So he is getting the money. They are making sure that they get the money every month from Brianna, because he's standing tall and all that, and that's that. All right. So did you want to say anything else about this, or what? We do have 2 episodes, so we kind of need to.
Oh, okay. Well, I already said what I said about it.
You said it? Okay. I'm just making sure. Look, there he go. Like, I like my ponytail. Oh, you want to know a fun fact about this kid? He's from Brooklyn, right? And he lived in these projects called Glenwood Projects, and we lived kind of right across the street from them projects. Yes. And we used to be seeing him sometimes, like after he was on the wire, and I think even during the time that he was on the wire, we would see him in the hood sometimes, like, yo, what the heck is this kid doing out here? Ain't that Namond from the wire? It was really weird. It was kind of weird to see. I don't know. I would, you wouldn't expect.
I thought I would
him
see
to be
more
living in the
I
project.
saw him on an episode of Law and Order and stuff like that, but I thought we was going to see more of this guy.
Yeah, and he was on
super chat, girl. Ew.
Oh, thank you, Jade. Just wanted to show some love. I appreciate it. So, let's see. Thank you once again, Jade. I appreciate you. So, yeah, but that's a little fun fact. We used to run into him a few times. Now, we have Marlo out here spreading the love in the community, guys. Okay. They like, thank you, Mr. Marlo. He out here giving kids the school money and stuff like that. So we're going to talk a little more about that later. But, this is the first time we see him doing it, and he will make his way to the other boys, and we'll talk about that when we get there. So now, and we got Chris telling him, oh, you going, your name going bang or ring bells, whatever he said, your name gonna ring. So yeah, basically we shall see. Because I'm like, what is he? I don't see him as some type of what's that generous dude, I think that's just him solidifying, like, I own these streets, this is my town, my city.
He's trying to solidify he's that dude right now.
Yeah, like nothing more than that.
Avon's people is gone now.
I'm the one. Hey, a pretty girl. So
Hey, pretty girl.
So now we also have Carver and Bunk. They're still looking for Lex, right? But there's nothing coming up. Bunk done went to, because you know he's the homicide police, so he done went to the mom and all that. And he's like, I don't know what's going on, because he's not getting, the mother haven't seen him, and she looks all sad and everything. Later on, Bunk says something about the case is kind of weird because the way she is talking to me is kind of weird. Like she don't know where he is. You know what I mean? There's something that he feels about her that is like she really probably really don't know where he is. So I don't think at this point he realizes that the dude might be dead. So it was like he can tell the mother is not lying, but it's just her energy was off. That's what he was saying. And what else? So let me see this. This right here I wanted to show you real quick because this is when they rolled up on Bodie, Carver, and Bunk. They rolled up on Bodie asking him the questions. And I was very interested in this picture because look how dry it is.
Heck yeah.
And I want you to keep this in mind for what happens in the next episode. So this is very dry. And then we'll talk about, later on in the next episode. But I just really thought that was interesting. All right. So next we have Bubs. And he's still out here in these streets, honey. Of course.
He got Sherrod with him.
So what it is that, he's still getting his hustle on so that he could get money to get high, unfortunately. Right. But now he has a little protege which his name is Sherrod. But Sherrod can't count, guys. So Bubs is like, what the heck is going on? He thinks it's a good idea for him to go back to school, even though they didn't. I think they talked about it a little later. But, because he's saying, yo, you freaking messing things up. You could be out here covering twice the ground. You could get your own cart and we'll cover twice the grounds for like market share or whatever. You want to say something about this?
Yeah, he was like, but he got to learn how to count though. Then he was talking to him about school and stuff again. So he's really looking after him. He's trying to show him the ropes, but he's like, look, you got to be able to be on this because we could make this money to make out here.
Absolutely. So next, guys, of course, I had to capture the the picture of Avon on the wall, okay? Because this is like, it's kind of like what they call, I guess, an Easter egg or something, but it ain't really an Easter egg because we know this is the season that he's in. He's not in this season, but this is the series that he's in, and it's kind of like just paying some homage. So of course I had to capture that. But in this scene, we got freaking the ladies all. I mean, everybody just loved him some Cuddy. Now I don't blame them because he is a handsome dude. I don't blame
girls.
them.
They love me.
Yeah, she over here talking about something. I mean, I'm sure you could tell that, I'm in. What she say something about? You could tell I ain't shy about food, or I'll be in the kitchen or something. She
letting them know, look, I could cook. You gonna have a you gonna have a hot plate and a full stomach if you come over here and mess with me. That's what she said.
Yes. What's up, Support Gaming? So
hey, Support Gaming.
I'm like, girl. So throughout the episode, you see different people. I mean, we got a lady coming up in there who ain't listen. First of all, this lady, her son's not there today, but she got to make her presence known. Okay, is this Spider's
No,
mother?
her son she don't even have a son.
No, that I'm talking about this lady.
One of them
right
didn't
here.
even have a kid.
Yeah, I know. I'm talking about this lady though. Her son, I think her son was Spider. I don't remember. But she was like, yeah, he ain't even here today. He at his grandmama's house and everything. But I just want to let you know what you've been doing with Spider is so this and that. And I'm just so thankful and all of that. So he was like, yeah, you can bring the plate.
Mother?
Yeah, I believe so. So she said, he said you could bring the plate to me. Like, girl, I got things to do, and we got people to train now. Ain't nobody got time to be trying to go to your house. And then the other lady with the shorter haircut later on, she was skinnier. I think she brought him some food, and she was like, I don't have sons. You don't train
Yeah, I
girls.
know it was one of them there that didn't got no kid, and she was bringing food. I was like, damn.
I'm like,
She's like, look,
oh
I don't got no
my
kid
gosh.
boxing in here, but I'm gonna bring you some food, and
Oh
you can
my
have that
gosh.
other thing too if you
Look,
want to.
guess we got to put it this way with how God King Consciousness
A
is putting
full
it. Oh
plate
my
and
God.
empty nuts is what she was offering.
Oh my gosh. Ay, ay,
Oh
ay. All right, let's move through. We're already at the
Moving on.
20-minute mark. So guys, now we have Michael refusing the school money, right? Monk comes and he's passing out $200 to these boys to get some school clothes, blah, 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 which is very weird to me since they wear what? Uniforms. So anyway, but still they can get some sneakers though. All right. And some t-shirts and everything, they can get some stuff. So Michael refuses, and this catches Marlo's attention, and he presses him immediately, like, what, you think you too good, this and then third, or you too, you one of them peas or whatever. And go ahead, Moochie, go ahead and talk about this. You muted.
I was saying I like Michael from the beginning with this because he was letting them know I am not a punk. You ain't
Mm-hmm.
gonna son me like that. And he
Yep.
was just like, nah, I just don't, He just
Mm-hmm.
didn't want anything because he know they gonna expect something sooner or later. And he's
Exactly.
not
And
he don't want to owe nobody nothing.
yep.
I
And
liked it.
and Monk said that too. You ain't got to do nothing for it. Yeah, okay.
Now.
Right. Mike is a little too smart, right? And so when he called him a
Mm-hmm.
P, that's when, like, he had his head down, but when he called him a P, he looked up,
Like
right
no,
in his face.
not
Mm-hmm.
that.
No. So he was like, all right, we good and everything. And then that was that. But like I said, it got his freaking attention. All right. So
Mm-hmm.
next, guys, Donut steals a freaking SUV. And unfortunately, this situation, like, we got Carver and her cruising through the hood, and they see all of the boys gathered around the car and everything, around the truck, and they get out, and they don't get out, they see them, and so the boys start running, they start chasing them in the car, whatever. Carver was like, man, he calls for backup, but then he was like, man, I know where all of these kids are, I don't got time to be chasing them. Of course, look, I think Herc was disappointed because he's been off the streets for a little while, and he was all excited, like, oh, just like the old days. Carver was like, man, please, I do not need to chase these little ninjas. I know exactly where they are, where they stay, where they hang out, all of that, their names. Man, I ain't doing all of that. We're going to let the other boys handle their situation. Plus, you need to get more comfortable, handle your situation. So this causes an officer named Eddie Walker to catch up with Randy and take his money that Marlo gave him. How did you feel about this situation, Moochie? Because I was pretty annoyed with him taking the money.
I didn't like that cop. He was
Yeah.
mean. He was real mean.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Mm-hmm.
the beginning. That's the first sign of we seeing him with the interaction with these kids. And
Yeah.
I didn't like how he was towards them.
Yeah.
But we saw
Yeah.
a change in Carver though. Carver knows the
Mm-hmm.
kids in the neighborhood, knows them by their names, know where they hang
Yeah.
out. So that
Mm-hmm.
advice that he got last season from Colvin paid off.
Yeah. Yeah. So I kind of felt bad. I didn't kind of feel bad. I did feel bad for Randy with the situation because he's in a foster home and everything, and he doesn't really get money like that. And of all of the kids for that to happen to, it happened to him. That would almost kind of be like, of all the kids that had happened to, it happened to Dookie. You know what I mean? But and that, another thing is, that's a shame. Where was Dookie's money at? He wasn't there, I don't think, right?
Nah, he wasn't there when that happened.
He needed that money
That's the one
so
who needed it
bad.
the most out
Yeah,
of all of them.
yes. And I know that Randy has his little hustle, and we'll talk about that later. But it was just like, dag. So Anyway, so also we have the subpoenas, guys. The subpoenas are served to Mr. Krawcheck and to Clay Davis, and Clay visits Royce, and he's like, what in the world is going on here? You know what I'm saying? Like, I done donated too much money to keep you in office, so I know you don't got the Baltimore police coming at me. Like, you better call
Mm-hmm.
your dogs off, get this situation together, because you want to say anything about that before
He
I
like,
finish
you
what I
better
was
get your situation together because if you want to win this election, you're gonna need me. So
exactly.
you better call off your dogs and get
Mm-hmm.
this under control.
Yes. And he's like, he don't got time to be asking if somebody want to give him money. He don't got time to be asking them, how they make their money and this and that and the third. And he was like, look, I'll take anybody's money if they giving it away.
Mhm.
And one thing I like about this episode is that there were a lot of the same kind of wordings and conversations going on in the parallel worlds, right? So
Right.
you heard him saying this, what's his name? Clay Davis saying this, I'll take anybody's money if they're giving it away. He says this to Royce. And we also hear Namond say this to Michael and Randy when they asked Michael why
When
he ain't
Marlo
take
was giving that
Marlo's
away the
money.
money.
Yeah,
Hmm.
he's like, why you taking money, whatever. He's like, I don't like own nobody. And he's like, Damon's like, I take anybody money if they're giving it away. So I thought that was very interesting. I like how they tie those things together, how you could have very, very similar or the same kind of conversations in two different worlds.
Hmm.
They did that also with Cuddy when he was saying something about what was it? The guy was telling him that, he saw Cuddy speaking Spanish to the guys, and he was like, yo, the way you communicating with these guys, you could get yourself a little crew and we could cover twice as much ground. We could go in on this situation and make twice the money or whatever. And
Right.
that's the same thing that in the separate world, that's the same conversation that Bubs had with Sharad, sorry.
Hmm.
So yeah, I like that. It's the parallels. Yes. Um, of course, it's intentional by the writers. That's why I'm bringing it up. Support gaming. All right, you don't write like that unintentionally. I mean,
Nah,
what I'm
it's
saying. But
well thought
so
out.
exactly. So I'm definitely giving props to the writers because I think that's dope because it's happening in parallel worlds. Okay. Anywho, so where else are we at? So guys, old face freaking Andre calls Monk. And I said, yeah, he calls Monk and he's tripping out and Monk can't get the situation under control. So Marlo gets on the phone. And now this means that Marlo is now on the wire. And they figure it out because they said, because when you hear Kima and what's his name? Freeman talking, they're like, yo, the person that got on the phone after him sound like somebody of rank. Like he put that
Charge.
dude in his
Hmm.
place. Yeah, like he's in charge, whatever. So there has to be Marlo. So they was pretty excited about that. But we hear the guns firing off in the background, and this makes Freeman say there's no bodies in months, but yet when we finally get him on the wire, it sounds like a war zone in the background, right? Like, and even Kima was putting it together like it sounds like target practice. All right. So
And
I was
that's what
like,
exactly what it was.
mhm. And oh no, I can't. I want to. Never mind. So now we also have. Did you want to say anything about that situation with the getting Marlo on the wire?
Oh, like they're thinking their case is coming together. They feel like their case is coming together. It's growing
Mm-hmm.
legs.
Yep.
Then they got the other thing as far as with the politicians. So they feel like they winning in every in both directions. Or
Mm-hmm.
both areas, I should say. Excuse me.
Yes. So Carver, as you were saying, he knows the boys' names and everything. So, now he comes by to their little hangout spot and he tells them, don't you ever let me see you in no like stolen car or nothing like that again. Like, I don't want to see you in a hot car. Hey, please be quiet. I don't want to see you in a hot car, nothing like that, right? And he's like, you let me, if I catch y'all again like that, it's gonna be us against y'all, like we're gonna be in the alleyway. And then like Naaman's
Mm-hmm.
like, you can't do that. And he was like, oh, yeah, I can Namond. So he started calling folks by names and like, oh, shoot. Man, these police always on to something. But, I just like how he went to let them know, like, I know y'all stop playing games, right? Did you want to say anything extra about that?
I just like that he. I like this new police in that Carver's doing.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting to know these kids. Um, they know him. They see him as a threat. They know he means business. I'm liking it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Absolutes and loots. All right. So let me see where else we at. So also we have Michael starting to go to the gym, right? And he's boxing, he's on the bag and everything. And Cuddy is very impressed. But we find out that, and he looks like, he's a kid with potential and all that. But he also doesn't seem to be interested in anything but that. I just want to be here to do that. That's it. I don't want to do nothing else. But I don't know if I'm getting the episodes crossed, so I'm just gonna leave that out of there.
Okay.
So we also have a witness, guys. He turned up dead. I think that was in the last episode. Was it in the last episode? No, that was this episode, right? So a witness gets deleted, and this helps Carcetti gain more ground in the race, right? And because it brings it up during his debate against Royce. Now we don't know yet that it brought more ground, but you can kind of tell that it was leaning in his favor because Royce was stumped after he brought up the fact that there's another deleted freaking witness. After I done begged y'all to do something about witnesses and doing better to protect them, there's another one that showed up dead. So Royce was blindsided, right? And Carcetti's argument is that there's no leadership, under his leadership, under Royce's leadership, there's actually no freaking leadership, right? And it's low morale while Royce is a mayor. So he even brings up the letter that he wrote to Royce. And it was like, I begged you to get things together and you pretty much ignored the letter. So do you want to say anything about that whole situation?
No, we can move on from that because it wasn't. I mean, it was like you basically explained to us nothing.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, I'd be wanting to skip the politics all the time, to be honest with you, but it's a part of the show, okay? So, guys, I also wanted to bring up how Namond goes home, right? And his mother's on the phone, like, honey, I'll go with you, this and that. She over here lighting up a cigarette. I mean, he was lighting up a cigarette in front of her and everything. I'm like, you know what?
Yeah,
I forgot to bring that up during the time when she was on the bad mothers list. Oh my gosh, I forgot to bring that up. Just letting him light up a cigarette like he grown. Like, are you okay? This boy is in 7th grade. That means he's 12 or 13. It's a shame. And of course he's selling drugs. So yeah, why not let him smoke cigarettes? Ugh. So anyway, he goes up to his room and he sees all this stuff laid out. Throwback jerseys and shirts and jeans and chains and all of this stuff. And once again, I'm just like, why did he get all of those clothes when he has to wear a uniform? Don't get it, but whatever. Do you want to say anything about that? Because we're about to go into the next episode.
Well, no, we could go into the next episode
Because that was pretty much the last scene. He get up there,
Yeah.
he's excited, and he's starting to play his, he's playing his little game.
Well,
He's
basically, we see how he's he's a spoiled kid. He had all the throwbacks, any ones you could name. Or he had the flyest clothes going into school where they wearing uniforms anyway.
Yeah. So, hey, Tamika White. All right. So we're gonna move on to the next episode, guys, and that means that we have to switch out our quote. So episode number 4 is called Homerooms, and the quote of the episode belongs to Namond Bryce. I love the first day, man. Everybody all friendly and ish. Yeah. So, guys, the episode starts off with Omar. Now, I don't remember us seeing him until now. Like, I might be wrong, but I don't remember him up until now. Was he in episode 1? No, he wasn't in episode 2, right? No.
Who?
Was he in episode 1? Omar. I
No,
feel like this is the first time he's
no.
appearing, right?
This is his first time he's appearing. He doesn't come to the
Right.
third episode.
Right. And so, because I'm like, oh, okay, there we go. There goes Omar. And I think it was the same for Bubbles too. I'm not sure. I don't remember. But anyway, guys, so
No, Bubbles was in the second episode.
he was in the second episode. Yeah.
Yeah, because remember
Yeah.
he took us to
He was in, yeah,
Sherrod
we just talked about him, but I meant like from the he wasn't in the first episode is what I was trying to say. But
I don't
right?
know.
Okay.
I
So
gotta think again.
the episode starts off with Omar in bed with his new boo guys, Ronaldo.
Mm-hmm.
And he got the pinochle out because somebody was making noise. That was, the trash. They was collecting the trash, right? Sanitation was outside, so he gets up in his naked behind, and they gonna give us a frontal view, like we need to see all the pinochle. Like, what is wrong with them? So I
all
was
we
like,
gotta see is Franks and Beans.
So I'm like, what the heck is going on? So anyway, he goes downstairs trying to get him some cereal, and Ronaldo done ate all the daggone cereal, didn't let him know. So he goes to the store, he puts the robe on, he tries to put the gun, in his pajama pants, but it's not going to hold it up. So he goes outside without a gun. Now, to me, this is something a little significant normally when it comes to writing, because you would think something would have happened. Like the moment he walks outside without his gun, something was going to happen, right? But it didn't happen. But that's how it usually goes. In shows and stuff. This guy carries a shot. Everywhere he goes, he has a piece on him or something like that. But the one time that he decides, it could have happened, but it didn't happen. All right. So he goes to the store. Of course, we got the Omar coming. He comes back home. Somebody drops down, a bag of vials, but he's not happy because he's like, it's not about what you robbing, is who. Hold on, let me get the quote, because he wasn't happy with the situation. Like, so he says, it ain't about what you taking, is who you taking it from. So he ready to get out here and rob like he used to rob. On his Batman,
like
on his, what you used to call him? Robin Hood. He want to be on his Robin.
Yeah, he want to be on his Robin Hood edge. But he's like, it ain't no fun no more because nobody's afraid. Everybody afraid of him, so they just giving it up.
And they just drop it out the window. Like, he got to have
it
that.
Up with nothing, no problem. He going to get Honey Nut Cheerios and come back with like 50 vows.
Actually, it wasn't Honey Nut. He wasn't happy about that too. Even Ronaldo said,
"Hey, I ain't got no Honey Nut.
No Honey Nut. They no Honey Nut. No, they didn't have the Honey Nut. I'm sorry.
No Honey Nut.
No Honey Nut. All right, guys. So we have. Remember what I said about that picture I showed you about how dry the corner looked, right? So now we got Marlo, who got word. The word done came back that Bodie done built up the freaking corner. And now this ninja wants a piece of the action, right? He tells him that, you done built it up. You did real well. Now you could either start taking our packages or step off, okay? And I'm just like, this is so, like, this is why I hated Marlo. Because it's just some bully crap at the end of the day. You didn't want the corner. My thing is, if you could have taken the corner, right? And since you want to take everything, you could have built up that corner yourself. You didn't. You basically didn't. You moved him from Lafayette or Fayette. I think they said Fayette. You moved him from Fayette because you wanted it. Now you don't send him down to this drought freaking looking place, a dry area, and he built it up, and now you want it. I just hated this kid. Go ahead, Moochie. Say what you need to say about it.
I ain't like his movement. He was just like, a real bully. And I think only reason why he didn't like him like that because he was down with Avon and he was like the last one of the last men standing.
But so was Slim, But Slim was with the co-op. And see, that's the thing. I think
he was just a corner boy. So
yeah. So. Oh well, so that's pretty much that. So he's gotta think about it. All right, what you gonna do? In the meantime, they also see that Michael is out there working for Bodie because he took over Namond's position for right now because he needed some money to help buy school clothes and things like that for him and his brother. So he's working for Bodie right now, Michael, right? And so Marlo tells Chris that he wants to know more about Michael because he got good signs on him. Big paws on a puppy. Okay. So that's that whole situation with the giving the money back thing. It just put more of a spotlight on
on
Michael.
Michael.
Yeah.
And,
So
and, and Bodie really like him.
mm-hmm. Yeah, we gonna get to that. Um okay guys, so we did talk about Carcetti being up because of the simple fact that he did what he did during the debate. I mean, the debate situations even feel like Tony was there. It just seemed like it was between Royce and Carcetti. So let's talk about this real quick
Hmm.
since some folks is bored with the politics. Okay, but because this part right here is not boring though to me. This is some dirty stuff
Nah,
that
some of the
yeah, this
stuff
is
you
some
see how I like to see some of the stuff because some of the stuff you see how they really get down.
yeah, and he's being a sore loser and he's not about to lose like that. So Royce wants to play dirty, like I said, and he's telling folks to tear down Carcetti signs and tow cars that have Carcetti stickers. He's threatening folks' jobs. Like, it's time to pick a side. There's no more like, being in the middle. It's time to pick a side or it's gonna be your job. And we got after certain things was like they was like when he first said it's time to pick a side, all the dudes and it was like, okay, yeah, we're with that, we're with that. But when he started saying stuff like tow cars and do this and do that, they was looking like it was like two of them. The one in the wheelchair and another white guy was like, what are you talking about? Go ahead, Moochie.
Yeah, but they was talking about towing cars and stuff. He was talking about doing some dirty stuff, and they like, wait, hold up, we not. You sure you want to do all of that?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he saw that his numbers was dipping, so he's trying to like get ahead of the situation, so to say.
Yeah, in the worst way. I know
Mm-hmm.
we get a scene where right outside of his campaign office, Carcetti's campaign office, they drilling. Making mad noise, drilling. You can't even talk on the phone or nothing like that. Just being mad disruptive to his campaign. It's just like, oh, and the lady, I think Teresa, she
He
was
trying
like,
to
oh,
make
you
it
must really pissed
off,
him
and all
off.
he hears,
Yeah,
he
she
hears
was like,
somebody
oh,
going with a
you,
jackhammer.
yup. She was like, oh, you made him mad. And then Carcetti shows up to, you know what? We ain't gonna talk about that yet. All right, so anyway, guys, so let's move on. Where we at now? So, as you were saying, Moochie, Bodie likes the way Mike moves. Okay, like he saw how he likes how he handles himself, and he wants him to stay on. But Michael he's about paid up and everything. So he's like, no, I got everything that I need, and I'm ready to focus on school. So I'm gonna let you talk about this scene right here with the crackheads and all that.
I like what he was saying, but he was like, look, he's like, you could just come after school if you want and just work for a little
Mm-hmm.
bit, and he was like, nah, I'm good. But I like that he basically knows when to step in the game and step out. I like that
Mm-hmm.
about Michael.
I liked how because Bodie was watching him handle the daggone crackheads, and they was really trying to
Mm-hmm.
play. They thought they could play him because he's a newbie, so they really thought they could play him. He's a
Nah, but he
natural.
had it like, nah, you bought this and you bought this, or you know what? None of y'all to get anything.
He's a natural with the hands, so he had to let the dude know, like, listen, you try it if you want. If you think putting your hands on me is a good idea, I'm gonna let you know it's not. Okay. So I like the fact he's like, we don't F a refund. Like that ain't even gonna happen. And y'all can thank your
Mm-hmm.
friend for blowing your eye, missing out on your eye or whatever. So that had them like,
Mm-hmm.
oh no, okay, we'll do it, we'll do it. I'll give. Oh, I had 3 and all of this and all of that. What I didn't like was how Bodie was trying to tell him, school, why are you trying to go to school? Like, what you want to be? A doctor or whatever he said. And it was just like, Dad, you can't even like support the
Yeah,
dude.
I don't
He
like that
don't
he wasn't telling him not to go to school.
yeah, he want to do something else. What the heck? So anyway, that boy's stupid. All right, where are we at now? So, um, we also have Rawls, right? And he removes the current lieutenant of major crimes so that he can replace him with Lieutenant Marimar. And this is because of the subpoenas. All right. So you already know it came down the line. We got Clay Davis went to Royce. Royce went to Burrell. Burrell talked to Rawls, and Rawls is bringing it on down. You know what they say: the doo-doo rolls downhill. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's sure. So it's
It's
rolling
rolled
down.
downhill.
It is rolling down, honey. So now it done got to Rawls, and Rawls is putting Marimar in control of major crimes. And he is such a freaking jerk. All right. They just want to stop. They want to put a stop to Freeman and the rest of them with the subpoenas, right? No more surprises, this, that, and the third. We need to get this under wraps. We need to get them back on the streets and out of our business, right? So we're gonna talk a little more about that later. I don't know if you wanted to add something, but we're gonna talk more about it later.
Okay, we could
Okay.
come back to it. So that way I don't want
Okay.
to go too far ahead, so I'd rather wait
Yeah.
till later.
Okay. So I want to mention that McNulty is in a relationship with Beatty now. And it looks kind of healthy, hun.
Mm-hmm.
She looks
Look,
like
baby,
a
look,
healthy little
they got
relationship.
they got chores on the refrigerator of things to
Uh-huh.
do. They're playing games.
They got binders.
He's getting them loose leaf books.
Uh-huh. The binders. And they said debunk McNulty gave it to us, and he's like, McNulty, huh? Not Jimmy, not Uncle Jimmy. Like, what the heck is going on? Mr. Jimmy, like, oh my gosh. No, that's not the case. McNulty. How the freak you got these kids calling you McNulty?
Because that's how it is sometimes with work. When it's like a work dude, you just know his last name. You don't
Yeah,
need
it's
to know.
McNulty. Samika White says that Beatty brought structure to McNulty's life. Wow, that's
Definitely.
a shame. Yeah, it's a shame that he couldn't get like that with his wife. But
Mm-hmm.
he asked him, "Can we go out? Can I borrow him or whatever?" Because he wanted to go out to drink with him and stuff like that. And he was like, "Nah." He didn't want to go. I was like, okay, McNulty.
I
But she
know.
said it's okay. Yeah, she said it's okay. You could go. And then Bunk was like, oh, she trusts you. She should, and leave him alone. Don't try to get him to go out there and do the little dirt that y'all used to do, because he's a scumbag too. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so little nasty, funky stuff. So anyway,
Mm-hmm.
so here's another thing, and I forgot to add. The quote, but I feel like this should have been the quote of the episode, guys. This was when Bodie was complaining to Slim, and about how I did all this, and then he's coming after my stuff and all that. He's complaining, and he was like, if this was the old days, yada yada yada. So I feel like when Slim said the thing about the old days, the old days, right? I feel like that should have been the episode quote, the quote of the episode. I just feel like it's befitting, and especially because everything here is new now. We got the new generation. We got about to get a new mayor, possibly. Marlo's making himself known in the streets now. Everything's taken over. Everything is, the old days is gone. So I thought that they kind of missed the mark on that being the quote of the episode. All right. What you think about that, Moochie? Because you look like you tired, girl. Wake up.
No, I like the fact that Slim is telling him what it is. He's telling him what it is, and he's also letting him know that, look, times is changing, so you're gonna have to either roll with the punches and get with the program, or it could it might not you're gonna have to either get down or lay down.
Get down or lay down.
Yeah, I'm trying to in a roundabout way,
That's it. Get down or lay down. Which has always been the funniest thing to me. But yeah, get down or lay down. And then he tried to say, do you want my advice? And he said, no, I don't. And I didn't appreciate that. I felt like it would have been a good idea for him to take his advice. And we don't know what that advice would have been, but I wish that he would have let us hear it.
Right.
you know. So anyway, in the next scene, right after that, we got the co-op meeting, and it's the same old stuff going on. Like the talk is about Marlo and how he's just taking over the freaking streets, taking territory,
Just running
taking
them up.
crews. Yeah, like Slim was saying how he lost 3 crews because Marlo was pushing independence uphill. Was it what did he call it? The hill, something hilltop,
Mm-hmm.
something like that. So and it's just like, yo, what are we gonna do about this guy? But now we also want one of the guys said, Marlo is only taking bits and pieces of stuff, but when them New York ninjas is on some Walmart, and they more of a threat than Marlo, we need to get them the heck up out of here, and we should bring Marlo in on that situation. So you want to take over from here, Moochie?
They figured, look, we bring Marlo in, they'll give it to New York boys, and then maybe he won't be so trying to dominate the territory.
Mm-hmm. And try to bring him in, but he never wanted he didn't want the co-op situation. I feel like he just wants to be a tyrant. I feel like he don't work well with others. That's what I get from Marlo. Don't work well with others. It should just be a sign on him. But we also have Joe. You see him listening very intently, and he says, I think it's time for us to talk to him. Let's try to have a talk, because like I said, they think they could bring him in, but what's his name? Slim Charles is like, I hope you had something better to say than Stringer did, because that boy, he ain't
Yeah,
be
because
trying to hear
remember,
nothing
Stringer
nobody
tried
got
to
to
bring
say.
him in. Stringer
Mm-hmm.
tried to bring him in, and it, went kind of sideways.
Yeah, no, he ain't trying to hear nothing nobody got to say. All right,
Mm-hmm.
so let's see where else we are. We're about to close soon, guys, because we did 2 episodes, so we still wanted to try to do it within an hour. And then Moochie looks like she's exhausted, so we need to wrap it up. Okay, so guys, we have Colvin, who deals with a situation at the hotel. He is like the head of security, director of security now. That's his new job. But this John had beat up a lady for stealing his money. Now the money was over there somewhere, but Colvin went in there and tried to arrest the guy. But the hotel manager was like, "Oh, listen, Mr. Colvin, you don't want to do that. This guy is, very well, this and that and the third. Just one of those privileged situations." And I wanted Colvin
Mm-hmm.
to really, just either beat the guy up or just arrest him anyway. But Colvin had to the manager had to remind Colvin that you're not a police officer anymore, right? And so that's
Exactly.
that. And I was like, dang. Now before this situation, we saw the deacon come to his house. I think like in the beginning of the episode, and he was trying to offer him some type of job or whatever, and he wasn't trying to hear it. Like, But now this situation with Sober, he couldn't do anything. Like, it's like I'm a freaking cop for 30 years, and now I'm in
And they
situations where
don't.
I'm witnessing crimes and I can't do nothing about it. I'm out of
And
here.
I can't do this.
Yeah,
She
I'm
done got
freaking out of
knocked
here.
around like a rag doll, all
Mm-hmm.
bruised up. And he like,
Yes.
no. He was ready to handle him.
Mm-hmm. He was. I was hoping he was gonna rough him up a little bit though,
I thought he
and you could,
was too.
yeah. At least before he left, he was gonna knock the dude out or something. But no, he just kind of gave the cuffs back. He's almost like he tucked tail, you know. And so I didn't like that. But what can he do, right? He's still a grown man who needs money, and he
Mm-hmm.
can't mess up his references or burn bridges. So it was the mature thing to do, you
Right.
know. But yeah, it is what it is. Privileged people, especially privileged others with money, that's how that goes. So
Pretty
that's a
much.
shame. hmm um Marlo said, I'm sorry, God King says Marlo was using 48 laws of power.
Mm.
So Colvin like I said, he deals with that situation. But we also have Merima, who comes to the major crimes unit, and he's telling them that he wants to be briefed on every step, and that, don't get it twisted. Basically, these stripes, I've got these stripes, but I've been police officer for such and such years, and I've done real hard work and blah blah. Just basically tooting his own horn. Nobody cares. Nobody wants to hear that garbage, and he's just saying all the blah blah blah, and then later on he tells them that the whole Marlo thing, it's a no-go. Like, it's a dead end. He don't have bodies. This is a waste of time. When another wire comes up, like that 30-day wire thing, that needs to be deaded. All of that, we need something. Y'all need to start hitting the streets. We need some hard evidence and all that.
Yeah,
And
y'all got to get something on this guy.
Right. So this makes Kima and Freeman ready to get the hell out of Dodge. Okay. Go ahead, Moochie, if you want to talk about that. Like, he done basically ran them the heck away.
Yeah, he ran them away, so they're gonna try to see if they could get some more evidence or whatever, I think.
Yeah. So, oh my gosh, you mean to tell me that I didn't add the picture? Aw. That sucks. I had the picture of Prez's first day of escuela, and it was
that was
not
on the thumbnail.
Yeah, it was not, and I thought that I added it, but yeah, that didn't happen. So let me see if I could still pull it up for you guys and talk a little bit about it. But he freaking he doesn't have the best day of school, guys, because the kids are fighting, and they're acting stupid. They're saying things like, oh well, I'm they're arguing, and what was it was like the girls fought. It was just a lot. It was a lot going on. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull up the picture. I just had it, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull it up. Let me see if I could get the other one too with them. Hold on. Sorry. You want to talk about his first day of school?
Well, we didn't even talk about him getting the job and how quick he got hired.
That was last.
He was a cop.
I talked about that last week in the first episode.
Yeah, but he was preparing his class, cleaning up the desk and all of that other stuff. And I think he thought it was gonna be a good day overall, but he wasn't expecting the chaos that was going on in the classrooms. So he thought it was going to be a little more structured, as far as, or the kids were going to be behaved a little bit better than what they were.
Yeah. So there, every time there was some type of distraction, we saw Randy leaving the classroom. He was switching shirts. He got a whole little hustle going on, switching shirts, because we see that the 6th, 7th, and 8th graders wear different color shirts. So he's in the 6th grade lunch and the 7th grade lunch, 8th grade lunch, selling all his snacks and things of that nature, and doing that. But then we have the girls, they getting up in each other's faces, because one girl is just a little troublemaker. First, she says something nasty about what's his kid's name?
Dookie.
About Dookie smelling like Dookie and everything. And then she moves her seat. We also had the whole thing with the arrangement of the seating. Like, he had their seats assigned and all that. They did not pay attention. So then the bus pass situation was going on. That went around. They was about to take bus passes that didn't belong to them. I was like, oh my gosh, this is a hot freaking mess. Okay. So then so she was back there doing something with the mirror, shining, making it reflect, shining the girl's face. And later on, that became another. It wasn't even a fight, because they got in each other's face that first time. But then later on, that other girl was so pissed off and so mad that she got up and sliced her. That was every time I see it, I just cringe. Yeah, go ahead, and you can talk about it.
Even he was taken aback by that. Because. So he was taken, like, he was shocked to see a situation like that happen in the classroom. He wasn't prepared
because I was like, bro, you're a cop. Like, why are you so why
I think
are you so
was caught
shocked?
Off guard.
But of course I had to think about it. It's because they're kids. So it was just like, oh, this is insane,
The teacher across the hall handled it good, though, I thought.
Yeah. So yeah, I can't get the picture. I don't know how to share the daggone thing, child. So it's all right. But anyway, guys, we're about to get out of here. So I don't know what the heck happened. Hold on, Mooch.
I'm here.
Yellow.
It's just like my contact lens is messed up. That's why I'm like,
All right. Sorry about that, guys. All right.
I'm here though. I'm here.
All right. So all right, so here's another thing. I'm really pissed off because I went back. I saw that I missed those pictures and I went
Oh,
back and
she was
got them
so
and I
mean to
still
this
was
kid.
freaking ad. Yeah, and I wanted to bring this up also.
You would do stuff like
And
that to kids.
yeah, when we talked about her being a bad mom, I wanted to bring that up as well, but I forgot. And I'm like, oh, I was so bad. But anyway, this is to me, for her doing this is the reason why her son is the only one in that crew that treats him like this. And when I say crew, I'm talking about the from the four of them, from Randy, Mike, Namond, and Dookie, right? Everybody else probably on the outside, the other kids would be acting stupid towards him and everything. But I feel like this is the reason. You look how she acting, all uppity and everything. Like she didn't even say anything to him. She just closed the door. What you
Yeah,
think
she was
about
just
that?
rude.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, she was disgusting about that. Another thing is that also after, like you said, we're going back to the teacher real quick. She smacked the freaking heck out of that girl that had that box cutter, didn't she? Handled it real well. Like,
Yeah.
girl, bow. This the
But you
Baltimore
can't even
school.
do that now.
Exactly. I was about to say this the Baltimore school. They ain't saying nothing about you doing that, but of course you can't do that now. Smack fire out her behind.
She
Okay,
sure
so
did.
yes. So also before we get out of here, guys, Hurt does get his promotion because he is called into the office just like Valchek said it will happen.
What can
He
I
done
do for
got
you?
his
What do you want?
exactly. And that's what happened. Let me make some calls. Don't mention it. You see that don't mention it? That don't
Mm-hmm.
mention it. That goes
That's
two
what a
ways.
don't mention it was.
Exactly. That's two ways. That's don't mention it. I got you, but it's also don't mention the slurpage. Okay, the Slurpee from 7-Eleven.
Don't mention I was getting my lollipop licked.
Exactly, like a lollipop. So now we also have now we also have um Omar who robs the corner store for Marlo's package. So he's back at it again. Kima was already scoping it out too, and he saw Kima was over there scoping it out and all that. So she thought she made her little, she had got collected her evidence and everything too. But Marlo done went up. I mean, I'm sorry, not Marlo. Your boy, he went up in there. Omar
Omar done went
got
up
that.
in there, took that in the ring.
Yes, got that package from Big Boy. So Um, I also wanted to mention real quick before we end is that Carcetti shows up to the dead witness's funeral, and I think doing these kind of things is also important in his race. And I don't think he did it for like to gain any momentum or nothing. Like I don't think he did it for gain. I feel like he did it because that's where his heart really was to do it. And then when he went back there, he said something to the guy. I forgot the guy's name in the wheelchair, but also Marla was there too. Daniel's wife was there, and he was saying to them that it's like, how do you move on from this? Like it's a parent's worst nightmare and everything. And then Norman
Yeah.
tried to take pictures after they left, and he was like, "No, like what the heck does that look like? I'm taking pictures while we here." So
Yeah.
I like his heart in this whole situation. Like it seems like I don't know how he's gonna act later on, but right now it seems like he's really his heart is for the city right now. All right, what do you guys say
Right.
about that?
I think he's his artist for the city, and he had like standards. And I like that he had
Mm-hmm.
standards with certain things because it showed him as a real person.
Yeah, absolutely. But anyway, guys, is there anything that you wanted to say? Anything else you wanted to say? Because we're about to close it. We did 2 episodes in an hour and 3 minutes, guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me find out we're gonna move through this season a little quicker. But I don't know. I don't know because I think episode 4 is a
He
little
probably need to be by
different.
himself.
Yeah, we I think after this,
we'll talk about it behind scenes, which ones we
yeah,
gonna do together and alone and all of
right.
that.
That's how that's gonna go. Okay. But thank you guys for being here. Appreciate y'all. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Oh, if you want to say what you're doing real quick, Moochie, for your channel, then you could
Uh
go.
just keep your notification on, guys, because I'm kind of thrown off this week. I
Mm-hmm.
did do Yellow Jackets yesterday, so y'all need to check that out. Um I have something else coming, a couple of videos I'm about to upload, and I will be talking about my little take on uh Charlotte. We just talked about that. So I'm just gonna give you a little bit taste of who my favorite characters was and what I liked and disliked about the show.
Nice. So I'm supposed to be doing Queen Charlotte as well, a whole overview. That is going to be, I think, either on Thursday or Friday. I'm waiting for YouTube to clear me for lives on that channel because I've never been live on that channel. I'm trying to get that channel pumping out, guys, with content that is not crime related. Okay, so something like that is perfect. And I already talked to you about it in the community tab. So that's my next thing I'm going to be talking about. So I will either be going live on Thursday for that or Friday. I will keep you posted. Another thing is I'm trying to catch up with the episodes from, and I'm going to do some recaps on that channel as well. So I'll let you guys know. Everything for that channel will be in the link in the community tab. So you don't have to worry about it when I put it up. So anyway, guys, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell so you know when I upload more videos like this one. Until next time, you guys take care and be blessed. Bye-bye.